So today we are going to talk about integrating technology into math education. I just kind of have it called. I'm not sharing my screen with y'all. That would help too. Let me do that. There we go. Now y'all can see with what I'm working with. Okay, so integrating technology into math education. We are basically going to talk about some technology skills that can help with in the math classroom. I will tell you that this is a difficult subject to integrate technology in. It just is. I do have a background in teaching math. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of stay in this. I know it's not super fancy, but um, editing mode just because it's easier for me to navigate and I don't lose all my tabs and such. Math and technology typically don't play well with each other. They just don't. Most of the time, it's because as math teachers, we want work done by hand. We want to be able to see their train of thought, see their process, and then we also want them to be able to go back and check their work to see where they've calculated things. A lot of people are really visual learners. They need to be able to physically see where they've worked out that problem. And that's hard when we have technology. And also, we don't want technology in the math classroom to translate to, well, I just typed in a problem or I took a picture of a problem and then it gave me the answer. We want to avoid those things too. So we typically try to keep our technology and our computers separate from our math education. Just a little bit about me. I did teach math for about 4 years. I taught sixth grade math. I'm certified to teach math K through 8, so I do have a mathematical background. I'm the instructional technology coordinator for the Chilton County School District. I've been in this role about 2.5 years, and it is literally my dream job. So I enjoy being able to do things like this, and this really fills my bucket on a day-to-day basis, helping teachers be able to do their jobs a little bit easier. And it's not included on here, but it was in my ELA one. And my whole motto and my whole reasoning behind doing a lot of this stuff is that I want everybody to be able to work smarter, not harder. If there are things that can do to help you take a little bit of that mental strain off, I am always willing to do those things. So, um, we have a Padlet of resources that is going to be cumulative throughout this mini series. I'm just going to click over to the Padlet really quickly so that you can see it. I already have the ELA resources kind of built out. These are things that we talked about in the ELA session. If you're an elementary teacher, you may want to check those things out. I'm going to drag that presentation up to the top. And then there's the presentation right there. I need to link my video too. And then today I have got some math resources built out. We're going to hit some of them, not all of them, but I do have some things on there that I want to highlight and talk about too. So that link is there. There's a QR code for you to scan, and I have dropped it into the chat as well for you to go directly there. Okay, so whenever I was prepping this presentation, my whole driving home point about math and technology integration is we don't necessarily have to do technology in math for our students to be successful. And I kind of have my little cheat sheet right here where I wrote down what kind of grade levels everybody taught. So I have that signed up for the presentation. I have some teachers who teach like up to K through 6. I have some little, some K through 3, and then I have a couple of middle school teachers, but I have some high school teachers who may be watching a review of this as well. If we're wanting to develop skills in both math and technology, there's a lot of things that really cross each other with these two things. So I kind of pulled some different resources, but I found this and put this together side by side to where hopefully you can kind of see where I'm going with this in both mathematics and in technology, whenever we're doing computer science, we use both of these skills and strategies. We use the skill that we need to understand the problem, that we either need to understand what we're trying to find or what we're missing in a math problem, or in computer science, why something isn't working. With that, we develop a plan, we implement the plan, we check to see if our plan is working, if we got the answer, if we plug it in, if it works correctly and gives us back the correct problem or correct answer, or we plug in our solution to the issue our computer's having, and then if it doesn't work, we fall back and revise and check. All of those skills are skills that really cross into that mathematics lane and that computer science lane. Strategies that we use to do this: guess and check. I mean, all day long, in addition to doing things like presenting and PD and put together some curriculum and things like that, I do help with a lot of troubleshooting issues too, and so that's a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis, we try to make a guess as to what we think may be going on. We check to see if it's working, and then if it's not, we fall back and we guess something else. Draw a diagram. I sat through a class last week and had all these networking diagrams, and they were very, very complicated, but it helps someone who doesn't have a technical background in technology understand better what's going on, to draw a diagram. And sometimes in math, we have to do that too. So sometimes in technology, we've got to draw a map to figure out where these things are going in order for us to understand where the problem may be. Looking for patterns. Patterns are all over coding and in math instruction. Working backwards, knowing what our solution is, and trying to go back through our steps to figure out where issues may be, and using appropriate formulas. So, all of this to say, these skills are highly encouraged skills for students to have in both areas, in mathematics instruction and in technology. So if you're one of my K through 6 teachers and you're teaching your elementary students, I'm not saying that we need to integrate math into, integrate technology into math and figure out some fancy coding project that uses numbers and all this. But by integrating a little bit of coding skills with code.org or things like that, we're strengthening these skills that we also use in the mathematics world. So that's kind of where my whole point for this slide is going, is that since the skills overlap each other, we can use practices in both areas of math and also in technology, to be able to strengthen those skills in either one. So that's kind of where, like, I hope everything goes today. I mean, I do have some other things for you too, of course, because that's the point of this. But this is my big, like, please take away this slide, is that I want you to see that these skills are the same in both areas. I also, need to mention our DLCS alignment. So, our digital literacy and computer science standards were adopted in 2018 for the state of Alabama. These are standards that are required to be implemented, either via specials teacher or by the general education classroom teacher in grades K through 6. In grades 7 through 12, we typically have a computer science or elective teacher that implements these alignments. However, they can be easily embedded in lots of things. So I kind of have some key focus words in here, and I have some notes down here too that you can read. I'm going to read them too. So within the DLCS, it is computer-based standards, but they can be integrated into various areas like data collection. That is a huge thing in computer science and analyzing data. That is a huge mathematical standard. I know when I taught sixth grade, data collection and graphs and charts was really, really big in the sixth grade standards. And I know that that's something that I believe, a lot of our teachers were working on as kind of a weak area too for ACAP scores. So, by doing a computer project that has that, you're reiterating those skills that are also reflected in math. Computational thinker strand is a ton of sequencing, putting things together, looking for patterns, predicting an order, things like that. This could be like for our little learners, something as simple as classifying colors, shapes, numbers, counting, things like that. Charts is kind of going along with that data collection. Multi-step problem and algorithms are also really, really big and heavy in the DLCS once you get into the like fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth ranges. That your problems are going to have multiple steps. They're going to be wordy, and you're going to have to look at algorithms and things like that. Both of those words are also math words. So whenever we're looking at those things, they translate across each other. I've got some links for you. I just am going to show this super quick because it is different. If you've used Alex before, they now have a new website. It was in the newsletter last month. I'm going to put it in the newsletter again. But it's a lot more user friendly. So these are our DLCS standards. You can click on elementary school. You can easily find your grade level, and they have your courses and things like that broken out. If you're like, whoa, that's a lot, I don't really want to look at that. On my instructional technology resources website, I have got the DLCS broken down by grade level, and there is also going to be an alignment in each one of these. I'm just going to pop over to that folder super quick where I have taken each standard, and let me see if I can Zoom that in for a second. Yes. I've taken each standard and I've linked it to a lesson. And then also, if it could be integrated into a content area standard, aligned that for you too. So this is kind of like the master of all cheat sheets right here. And again, in the elementary class, I know this is hard because that's putting a lot on y'all's plate, but just trying to do, integrate a code activity once a week or something like that is really going to help with those math skills. I also have got things by domain. So means that this is all of our computational thinker standards together if you teach multiple grade levels and you want to focus on that domain view. So all those resources are linked in there as well. Okay, so now we're kind of done with housekeeping. We're going to get into the good stuff. I appreciate y'all letting me get up on my soapbox because I am super passionate about DLCS and want it to be implemented well and easily and it not be a burden on your plate. So I try my best to provide all that I can to help you with that. Okay, so I kind of have three different things. I have classroom tools, which are going to be things that you already have. You just may not know how to use. I have some online manipulative websites for you to look at because sometimes we just can't take the brain. Um, it's just too much in our brain for us to get all those manipulatives out. So we want something that is no cleanup on our screens. And then I also am going to give you some AI tools that can help you with things as well. So the first one are going to be classroom tools. So if you have a ViewSonic board in your room, you have got a built-in graph paper and built-in X and Y axis on your view board. So I have two videos right here because your view board is a fantastic instructional tool. So, and if I start talking about stuff and you're like, I have no idea how to set that up, if you will shoot me an email, I will put you on my calendar and I will come help you get this set up because you need it. So on your view board, even without being signed into an account or anything, if you go to the bottom left corner, that little Mountain Media button is there. If you click on it, you'll see all these different color backgrounds, but then right here is just perfect graph paper set for you, where you can do that as a background. You also, if you go under the little image button that's right here, there is going to be an X and Y axis for you on there too. So, boom, I don't need to draw it on the board. I don't need to order fancy chart paper. It is already on my view board and it is settled. Also, if you teach upper level math and you've been like kind of incorporating, like you've had a slide deck because you just want stuff up on the screen, but you really want to be able to draw on it and things like that. These two videos right here will show you how to sign in your Google Drive on your view board. You can pull in ready-made Google slide presentations and they will be the background of your ViewSonic board. So then if you type up problems, you will have them on there and they can be worked out on your board. Okay. Very, very nice. It does take a little bit of finagling to get set up the first time, but after that, it works like a dream. Also, if you have an iPad, we can connect your iPad where you can annotate on your iPad and be, mobile around the classroom. You don't have to be right at your ViewSonic board with your back to your class. So lots of great things from math teachers using just that built-in viewboard software. So if your school has an extra ViewSonic laying around or stuffed in a room somewhere and you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one. Fabulous tool. We have great support from the vendors, both from Pinnacle that we buy them from and the ViewSonic software. I meet with their education developer usually once a quarter and get all the cool updates and things like that. So it's a really, really great product to use. So again, if you don't have all that connected, shoot me an email. We will get yours fixed and I promise it will be great. Kami is another really great tool. We have a district-wide subscription to Kami. It should be pinned up here on your little web browser bar. Mine's not. I'm going to pin it. It's the little purple K. So Kami actually has a lot of resources that can help with math instruction. So let me hop over to the Padlet really quickly because I have on here in the Kami library, they actually have PDFs and things like this already built in. Like you can take these and push them out to your class and assign them. So like just this number line addition, you can open this with Kami. You can add it as a PDF in your Google Classroom and then your kids can open it. And then they're able to, annotate with their touchpad, or if you have iPads or touch Chromebooks or something like that in your room, they can use their finger to annotate. So Kami has lots of ready-made resources. Just this is something people don't always think about. They've got a bar graph template. I mean, there's 16 pages of things. You can, differentiate by grade level if you want to. Um, Granted, you may have tons of these manipulatives too, but sometimes this is just something a little bit different, to maybe make something click. Guess the time. I mean, how nice would that be for them to just be able to draw, annotate on clocks on Kami? That would be great. Also within Kami, I took some screenshots. This has improved drastically. They do have some math tools in Kami. So if you were putting some things up there that needed to be measured, or use a protractor to find angles, or even a compass to draw circles, those tools are there for you under drawings. And then under equations too, you have a pi button, but it will also allow you, if you want to make your own Kami worksheet with equations, that it is a friendly way to type those things in, because that can be very difficult on Google Doc. Trust me, I have been there, teaching, pre-algebraic things whenever you introduce variables in sixth grade, and typing, 4x plus 2 is not easy, because they're like, why is it 4 times plus 2? This doesn't look the way it does in the book. So that can be really difficult to do in Google Docs. So Kami can help you with that. So, and there's also a YouTube video linked right here that goes to different ways that you can utilize Kami for math from the experts. So really, really great resource there. Okay, online manipulative. So whenever I send out the invitation form, I ask people, I was like, if there's something you love and you use, please share it. Like, we are here to share our information with each other. So some of these I got from there. Polypad is one of them. If you have not seen Polypad before, it is super cute, super fun. This could be multi-grade level. So Polypad is just basically online manipulatives. So you can have a number line, and sometimes it is just the visual of having something in front of the student on their own that they can touch. And this is on their Chromebook for them. You also have lots of like 3D solids that you can use in here. We do have some algebra things. We have some algebra tiles. We have some coordinate axes, variable sliders. I'm not real sure what those are. I remember functions not well. Those are all things for my higher people. Maybe I'm speaking your love language. And then you've got a couple of games with clocks and dominoes and things like that too. So great, cute little website. Doesn't require sign in, click and go. It's a really, really good one. Desmos is an online graphing calculator. It is linked in here. It is also an app on the iPad. So if you teach upper level and graphing calculators are not in your school's budget and your kids don't have them, we can put it on it can be an online website for they can go to on their Chromebook if you didn't know that, or if you have an iPad in the classroom, or I'm pretty sure the app is free. So if they have their cell phone, you can tell them, hey, you don't have to spend $100 on a graphing calculator. You've got one you can put on your phone. This one, GeoGebra. Not sure of the punctu or the pronunciation on that. We're going to go with GeoGebra. Super neat. I just found this one last week. It is linked on here. So it is kind of like an online way to play and make and take resources. So it is curated. It says for grades 4 through 12. I'm just going to go to operations. And so think like kind of like IXL, but a little bit different. So let's just do exponents. So this is just an exploration. And so it's kind of like a little guided lesson. They're going to have, a little interactive video to watch. It's very IXL-ish to me. However, it is just something a little bit different than IXL if they do IXL in another class and you don't want to just keep reiterating the same thing over and over again. I noticed but did not try. It does have Google Classroom integration. I'm quite positive you could sign in with your Google account and you could send things over to Google Classroom for your students to do. Um, this is actually practice. So this looks like it's got some drag and drop skills on here. Excellent ACAP practice, because we know that we have those drag and drop features on ACAP. So great website resource to bookmark there with GeoGebra. That's what we're going to call it. And then, I mean, we have to think about sometimes that it has to be fun, especially for our littles. We don't just want to just drill worksheets all day long. Prodigy was always a favorite for that, middle elementary, upper elementary grade level. Khan Academy's got some great resources. Moose Math is a really good little kid. And just your friendly reminder for today that cool math games are not math games, and it is blocked. So I'm so sorry. You cannot get there. Not for cool math games. Okay, and then creation. So whether you are first, second year teacher, 20-year veteran, Just doing the same old gets old all the time. You know that. So now with this great new thing called AI, we can get some help with creating these resources. And we can get some feedback and we can quit banging our head against the walls because we need a new way to teach this stuff because I know it's not getting any easier. So School AI is one that I want to mention. I don't know if I did, and I created the specific application. So School AI is kind of like my favorite AI tool. Everybody has their favorite. Oh, it's behind Scribe though. I really love Scribe, but School AI is probably my favorite teacher AI tool. A lot of people are all Magic School AI, Magic School AI. Magic School AI is great. You have to pay to get most of those features though. School AI is free. So one thing that I noticed on here is that, this story word problems, we can only think about Jane and Bob and the apples for so long. So this could help you just make some new material and it can come up with story word problems to help supplement, that you've already done the homework that you assigned in the book or done the homework that's assigned online. And we just need some more stuff. We just need some more practice. So you plug in your grade level, your standard, number of questions, three. Oh, I like that. Sharing pizza with friends. Okay, well, let's go back and make this a fraction problem. Multiplying fractions. And you can incorporate a standard if you want to. Let's go grade level, math. Mm, Fractions is where I wanted to go. Compare. Okay, well, I saw product in there, so we're just gonna go with that. Okay, so we have my standard and magic button, generate. So they're coming up with some things that are about pizza. Where my brain went with this immediately too is thinking about like holidays and stuff that you have coming up, is that you could, integrate, that kind of environment into. You could use names of kids in your class. Sometimes kids thought that was funny that it had their name in it. Just coming up with another way to do things, just something that's a little bit different than the ordinary, and it may make it click for somebody. Also, with School AI, there are also time-based activities that you could use for there, and then you might could just find some corny math jokes that you want to implement in class. You never know. You could do multiple choice quizzes. Again, just another way to get material. Okay, Chat GPT. So I want to show y'all something with Chat GPT that kind of blows my mind. This is going to kind of target my not picking on my middle school and high school teachers, but picking on you a little bit. So this is where my brain goes with this, is that, whenever we are middle school teachers, seventh, eighth grade, ninth grade teachers, typically, you don't have like you were certified to teach math and you're certified mostly to teach upper level math. And when you're a K-6 teacher, you've kind of had a little bit of every grade level thrown at you. So you can work your way down, not always up. So this may help some of those upper elementary too. But I'm talking about this line between like elementary math and secondary math. So help me explain division of decimals to a sixth grader. If I can type today, it probably likes it if words are spelled correctly. Decimals to a sixth grader. Okay, so this is going to go through this whole explanation step by step, word by word, giving you an example problem, things like that. Okay, I mean, great explanation. Like I've done these things and looked at them. I'm like, okay, this is fantastic. But here's where this goes is that, you're teaching seventh grade and your seventh grader is on a fourth grade level. So you're going to say, help me explain this to a on a fourth grade level. And it's literally going to give you a simplified version of your lesson. So, I mean, this is just because you think like, okay, I can do that. But as well as I do, it gets frustrating time and time and time again whenever you're trying to explain it the way that you know how, and it just isn't getting any better. So sometimes this just gives you a few different words to say. And those words may make the difference on it clicking for those students. We could also say, I'm a sixth grade teacher and I need some extension activities for my students. So I need some activities that make this a little bit more difficult. ChatGPT can kind of give you that dialogue to help you with that. So it's a great resource for you to bounce ideas back and forth off of if you don't have any other resources to go to other than that. So this is my highest recommendation to use for those kind of things. And I do believe I have that on the Padlet. I don't think I put ChatGPT on there, but it is on the presentation. Okay, and the last one that I want to talk about is Curipod. Again, just a different way to skin the cat. So Curipod is going to build presentations for you, and these are all interactive, which is the one thing I love about Curipod. They are kind of baby looking, but you're going to have all types of activities embedded into your lesson. So this does take a little bit of time to put together. So I already have one put together for you for the sake of time today. This one is on place value. So they titled it Unlocking the Secrets of Numbers. And this is kind of like a Kahoot style thing. You present it to your class and it's on their screens as you're going through. So we have content slides. If you have 10 times more cookies than a friend, how many would you have? So this slide's going to pop up and it's going to tell their kids, like, this is your activity. You need to draw 10 times more cookies than your friend. And they're actually drawing on their screen. They're engaged, they're working. So then you go through, explore, place value, understanding, identifying. Let's practice. Okay, here's another drawing one about how let's draw base 10 blocks or things like that. Here's a poll. Here's an opportunity for them to have a choice between answers and select their answer and then see where they, you can also see what percentage of your class gets it and what doesn't. Do I need to go back and do a different example? And so, and then it has like brain break time. Draw a silly face on number 8 because that's just silly. Quick pause to make sure that my husband gets my daughter to dance on time today. Mom life. Okay, sorry about that. So I love these brain breaks, and you can insert all different kinds of brain breaks on here. Like it does not have to be, a certain one or number themed. It could be get up and dance around the room for this many minutes or whatever. Um, and then it just has a few little open-ended questions, an AI whiteboard, things that I probably not would not have come up with on my own. So Curipod is a great resource and it's pretty long. I mean, you don't have to do with those whole things. It does tie into the standards. It's very similar to setting up for school AI. You list your objective um, and all your things in that order for you to get what you want in Curipod. And then you can present, and your students are engaged, they're still learning, but they're actively doing something too. And it's incorporating technology. Um, Still kind of a little bit of a replacement, a little bit of a modification because you are enhancing the learning with that. And I do have a link to that specific lesson on the Padlet. You, of course, can go in and do your own grade levels and things like that. And then just the last kind of point that I really wanted to share with you all is that absolutely nothing is going to replace you as their classroom teacher. You're still a person that cares about their future, that cares about their education, and that loves them and has their best interest at heart. So nothing's going to replace you standing up and having conversations with them every day and helping them, regardless of the amount of AI that we use or technology that we use. Teachers are still going to be important. Nothing is going to replace a good, highly qualified teacher for that. Technology just enhances the learning and it gives the teacher more resources to be able to do those things. So before I stop the recording and take questions from anybody who is live on the presentation, don't forget to complete the Google form. Everybody needs to complete the Google form, whether you watched it live or the recording. And I just have the same Google form. It has two different kind of paths if you were live versus the recording. For attendance, the link is right there, and then it will also be sent to you via email as well. And I'm going to stop my recording.